Hi everybody and welcome to a new episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the man who apparently only has 5 moves and a word, Carl Charles.
Okay, alright. And I'm CY Chung, and all I did was push a girl. She just decided to fall into the car and hurt herself, so...
I'm not going to disagree with that logic, if I'm honest. And today, this is part 1 of our 2-part WrestleMania review, and we're reviewing night 1 of WrestleMania 41. That was a mouthful. Yes.
So they also called it WrestleMania. Okay, so they called it night 1 and night 2, and they interchangeably they also use WrestleMania Saturday and WrestleMania Sunday.
Yeah.
Now I do kind of prefer them using, if they're supposed to be the equal level of importance, WrestleMania Saturday and WrestleMania Sunday makes them sound like
equal.
Yeah. Whereas night 1 and night 2 makes it sound like, okay, well, sometimes night 2 is the more important one.
Yeah.
It just depends on how they stack the card.
Yeah.
And at this point, usually night 2 has I want to say the more important tile, but the tile that has the bigger build of the feud.
Yeah.
Which then makes night 2 the proper WrestleMania night. If they was doing the one event.
Like last year, that kind of made sense, if you know what I mean, because of everything was going on. But this year, to make it equal, it'd be weird if it said like night 1, night 2, like okay, this is the warm up night, and night 2 is the actual thing. Yeah.
Though last year, night 1 and night 2 does make sense.
Yeah,
calling it like that.
Yeah, because like a 2-part. It was like Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah. So it made sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
Surprisingly as well.
Yep.
The very first match was the world title match here.
Yeah.
And it was Jey Uso versus Gunther, and what was funny, and Gunther's the champion, right?
Yes.
And I didn't mind this going first, because, okay, well, if the main event is the main event, this either goes heel or in the semi-main.
Yeah.
But what was funny is when Jey Uso's coming out of his ring gear, and it says main event Jey Uso in the back, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm just jokingly going to say, why don't you just put opening match Jey Uso on the back just for this one?
Just for this one, like, yep, I'm the opening match Jey Uso. Which, if in all honesty, right, if I was him, this match, like you said, I'd rather be the opener than in the middle somewhere. Because
but I don't think he should have worn the gear that said main event.
It's only because it's his nickname, isn't it? But whatever, they should have done that, innit? Yeah. Because like before, you kind of get away with him, like but then you kind of get around saying,
What would be funny is if he was semi-main and he actually had one specially made called semi-main event. And I'd be like, yes.
He gets it. Yeah. But
like you say, like you just agreed. If you're not going to be the main event, if you're going to be the start, might as well open the event. I know there were some others, like the US title was also a bit late on, and the tag titles and stuff like that. But you might as well just take the opening spot.
Yeah, you kind of start the show on a high. Like on a good note,
exactly.
That's why it made more sense. Yeah.
And I thought as this match was going on, okay, here's the thing, right? When it came out and when it was open match, I was like, Jey Uso ain't gonna win. So I know why it's at the beginning.
Yeah. You kind of set expectations low and then you build up. Yeah.
Exactly. And so when they built the match that was going on, I wasn't like 100% with it because I was like, he ain't winning. And then when he started doing Gunther's moves back to Gunther, I was like, okay.
Maybe.
And then when he did the triple splash, I was like,
okay. Because they kind of fooled me with the first, when he did the first splash, I was like, okay, maybe. But I was like, no, this ain't like 3 or 4 minutes in. It's not going to be, at least it's going to be at least like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, okay. And then when Gunther did the dinosaur drop kick and hit his splash, like, oh, maybe this could be
it will be a quick one.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe this could be it. Oh gosh, but no.
And then when he powerbomb Jey Uso and Jey Uso kicked out, and then he was like, all right, let me give him the Bryan Danielson elbows.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well maybe this is gonna be it.
Yeah.
See, every time Gunther did something, I bought it, right?
Yeah, same.
I thought, like, just get harsher and harsher.
Yeah.
Every time Jey Uso did something, I was like, not be like, I'm just expecting Gunther to kick out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, how's he going to kick out of 3 splashes? Like 2 on his front and 1 on his back.
Yeah.
And then we got locked in the sleep. I was like, Okay, so get rope break, right? No.
Nope.
Quite a quick tap out. And I was like, huh?
But you know
Okay.
what I like about that, and even it reminds me of something that Kevin Owens said ages ago. I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
He'll rather admit his defeat than being defeated, if you know what I mean. He'll be like, okay, I'm gonna stop this. But like in the UFC when some people get an armbar or whatever and they just tap out straight away. It's like I'd rather well, that's
not
injure myself.
Your bones will, some people will get choked out, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine because I say that in the sense like, if you're out, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not in an armbar and you're about to get your arm broken and you decide, because I'm hyper masculine, blah blah blah, I'm not gonna tap. I'm gonna snap my arm. It's like, do you realize how much pay you're gonna lose in the long run because you can't train for
Yeah, and then
you got to heal and all that stuff. So that I get. Yeah, here I get the logic of the Gunther characters. Like the ring is sacred.
Yeah,
we'll do what we need to do as men in the ring. I say as men, but as fighters, as gladiators.
Yeah. So I kind of
I actually thought he was just going to get himself choked out, and then they were going to continue the feud or whatever. But no, he tapped, and I was like, he didn't. He wasn't in for that long. If he was in it longer, like he was trying to get to the ropes and stuff like that, and then he couldn't. Not as long as you remember, Brock Lesnar was in the ankle lock in SummerSlam against Kurt Angle, 2003. And he just kept on trying to go to every single rope.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's a bit,
yeah, like you're kind of milking this now. Yeah.
So if he tried to do two corners and then he couldn't, and then he tapped out, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was alright. I was like, okay, good tap. All right.
I do think it deserves a rewatch for me because now I have to go in there not thinking, okay, he's just going to lose and that'll be that, right? I'm just waiting for him to eat a pin.
See, I've watched it twice because I watched it. Obviously, I stayed up to watch it last night, and then I woke up super early, so I just put it on again. And it's still. I preferred it a second time around.
Yeah, I guess because you. How the match was put together, you accepted it the way it was, right?
Yeah.
Rather in your brain as you're watching it, going, nah, maybe.
But it's a match that builds.
Yeah, except for the Gunther using the title to hit Jey Uso.
I actually like that part.
So he rolled out the ring because he had enough of Jey Uso. And he's like, nah, ain't gonna get beat, right? I'm gonna walk away with my title, right? Even though you're thinking that the ring general he wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
But then Jey Uso, he's got the title. Gunther's got the title, and Jey Uso's running rope to spring to suicide dive, and the referee's in the way, and he shout. Gunther tells the referee to get out of the way.
Yeah.
So then the referee gets out of the way. Gunther hits Jey as he's coming out. It's like, okay, that's a crime of opportunity, right?
Yeah.
But then you should win from that point.
Nah.
You shouldn't be cheating and losing.
I don't mind that. I see it as like he's like, you know what? All right, this is one moment where I'm gonna cheat to win, sort of, and then it backfires on him.
If it came, exactly. If it came later on in the event, in the match, where it's just say, okay, how long was it? How long was the match? About 15 minutes, would you say?
It says 16 minutes 30. Okay.
Yeah. So let's just say it was a 20-minute match, and we got to like the 16th minute, and then Gunther's like, all right, well, this is my chance. He's kicking out and stuff. Then he did it, and then it worked into later on where the finish was.
Yeah.
Coming up there, then I'd be like, all right, I accept it because he's just like, I'm gonna get away from this guy.
Yeah.
Whereas it was midway through the match, and it still had the rest of the match to go.
See, I don't know, like. Because of if this wasn't a long build, like Gunther's beaten 3 times, and when he murdered Jimmy and that stuff, I could buy this him hitting Jey with the title and then winning or whatever. But because Jay's got so much on his back and fighting spirit and all that stuff, that's why I was like, I buy it. I was like, yeah, you know what? He's throwing everything at Jey, and Jay's like, no, I need to win for my fame.
Well, and as we know, the power of apparently. When you what power levels you have in the 80s, and 60s or whatever, right? Even the mid 90s, that the whoever's training whoever just suddenly the power levels should shoot up just like Dragon Ball Z because low blows don't finish things down. Cheating roll up sometimes don't even pin.
Yeah.
Finishers sometimes are just signature moves now. So
well, because everyone's a badass.
And chair shots don't even sometimes finish people. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
To be fair, some like they're trying to be safe and hit them in the back, instead of the head. But still, it should be knocking your life bar down by a decent amount. Like if you're running head first into a belt shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
entertainment, like,
yeah.
wrestling has no logic.
But like I like them. I did like how it was put together, and I feel like on my part it deserves a rewatch only because now I'm gonna be more invested in it.
Yeah. But yeah, like I've been invested in like the story for like quite a long time. Like, don't get me wrong, like some of the builds been, but like the last couple of weeks really built it. So I was quite looking forward to this match, and going into it like you, I was like, maybe he might not win because they tend to do this stuff. Then say he'll win at like SummerSlam or something like that. But no, they pulled through.
What was also funny was it's because Gunther's world title reign hasn't had the best opponents. So you're thinking, he's just gonna get this one done and then move on to other high-ranking opponents who have been tied up with each other. Yeah. But no. Because he was doing the house shows with CM Punk in Austria.
Yeah. So. Like, I personally think Gunther's title reign's been pretty good. Like, me personally. Like, okay, maybe he ain't been fighting, like, super high-profile people, but, like, he's been dominant. Yeah. And like they said, he's had, 53 main roster, like, matches or something like that. Yeah. But 56... Yeah, he's win record. Like, it's like 56-3. You're like, wow, that's...
Yeah. Well, 56-2 at that point.
Yeah, to 2. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. So it's like...
but as soon as they started bringing up that, and then he was like, Jey Uso's 0-3 against Gunther, I was like...
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. This is during the entrances, and I was like... I don't know.
I can see I can see them swerving me like Jey Uso losing. Like, okay.
Yeah. But... All right. Next match. The War Raiders.
War Raiders.
I was about to call them the Viking Raiders as well.
Well, they slept off on commentary calling them Vikings, and I think someone did. No. Sorry, it was on the because I watched the kickoff.
Yeah.
I think the night before, whatever, and New Day came out and they called them War Raiders, and then someone was like, no, called them Viking Raiders, and then I think McAfee or Cole corrected them, like, well, they're just like Vikings, right? I was like, he's got a point. Yeah, he's got a point there.
And you just randomly bring that up, and I know we're going on a tangent here, but ages ago when the Young Bucks were in TNA called Generation Me, and they were called Max and Jeremy Buck.
Yeah.
And then they were talking. I think on the same show was the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah.
And Alex Shelley, he's a smart ass sometimes.
Yeah.
And he was like calling them Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Because you're young and your surnames are Bucks.
Yeah.
But he was like really nudge, wink, wink.
And then what happens?
As to the actual independent names. Independent wrestling names.
Oh, was that independent? Oh, I thought they became the Young Bucks after they left TNA.
No, the Young Bucks before.
Okay, that makes more sense now. That makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, which is why they were called. For whatever reason they decided. So they wrestled.
Yeah.
The Motor Machine Guns, and then afterwards they were told their names were Generation Me. I was like, okay, we thought we were wrestling as the Young Bucks, but
sure, okay,
whatever.
That makes no sense.
They didn't even know. Yeah, they didn't even know they had a different name to whatever at that point. But that's TNA for you. So.
Yeah, TNA was going TNA back then. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So War Raiders.
Yep.
Eric and Ivar. Versus New Day. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, who having beef with Big E, who I thought was going to come out because of how they did all the promo work and stuff like that. But
like I saw something, I was like, this made no sense. All right, it's nothing to do with him throughout the match, but it's something that someone said. I was like, that wouldn't make any sense. That Big E was going to come out and help. Big E was going to come out and cost them the match. That, and I think that Big E might be Randy Orton's opponent next time. I was like,
oh no, that didn't make sense. He can't take an RKO with that neck.
No,
however, I thought maybe he just come out at some point.
Yeah.
Or maybe he come out and stay on commentary or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's fine. The Viking Raid? The War Raiders were doing the Clash of Clans cosplay sort of thing. Not really, because they were just wearing the helmets. And who was it? Someone was talking about it. Was it Pat McAfee? I think he was talking about it, and then he was kind of not going overboard, but he was trying to explain stuff.
Yeah.
And then sort of all of a sudden it went silent.
Yeah. I was like,
I don't know if he cut his mic or whatever, right? But there was a segment of silence, and it was more than 10 seconds, and then Michael Cole came back on. I was like, okay,
yeah,
what
I
happened there?
saw that. I was like, okay, maybe they got told you're doing too much of an ad read. You need to stop now. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, isn't it? But if the ad people are being paid,
Yeah.
are paying for it, they would expect it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless he went some weird tangent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
What did you think of the match?
I liked it.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to say War Raiders. Yeah. War Raiders are the champions.
Yeah, they're the world tag team champions. Yes. New Jay were the challengers. I enjoyed this match. I would have because they said it was a tag team title clash, and I realized, it's because of Clash of Clan they put that in the title. Makes sense, yeah. So I thought at first it was just like not a street fight, but like tornado tag. But
yeah,
it was a regular tag, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. There was.
Go on.
Go on. No, you go.
No, I was gonna say because this mainly because tried to set up a New Day's heel antics, even though they've been heelish for
since
a decent amount of time now.
Yeah, start of the year. Yeah. I did think at points that maybe the War Raiders were gonna win.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed lots of the spots, like when Ivar crushed both of them against the barrier. That was pretty dope. Some of the moves that the War Raiders do, I like a lot of their offense is quite murderous. But I had no doubt. The finish.
Yeah.
Was good.
Yeah.
Because there was a bit where Kofi hit him the Trouble in Paradise, and you thought it was gonna get the pin, but didn't. And then they hit was it Daylight? That's the backbreaker stomp. Yeah.
And once they got the 3 count, they grabbed the titles and they ran.
That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part.
And that entrance was never ending.
No, it just kept on going.
These boys be gassed by the time they get to the top there. I was like, well, they are committed, yeah, but at the same time, it's just like, that is a long run, you know?
Because the thing I thought, I liked the bit they ran off. I was like, did they? But they didn't really cheat to win, so why are they running off?
Yeah, because they're heels. They're heels. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
And it was a really good match. Well, it was 9 minutes. Didn't feel like 9 minutes.
I will say this, right? It's a bit random to have this match in there, but not any of the SmackDown tag titles.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
And they're not even on night 2.
Yeah.
Unless something happens, right? But it's just like, no, there's been, since the Motor City Machine Guns came in November, there's been built around that tag title scene on SmackDown. So, yeah, it's like, okay.
All right.
And then they're going to have a TLC ladder match or something like that on a SmackDown.
That's cool. To be fair, you at the Royal Rumble, it's how I see it, right? They didn't get a good reaction. The SmackDown Tag Team title didn't get a good reaction at Royal Rumble. That's why we're going to put WrestleMania. People hate the New Day enough to enjoy them. You know what I mean?
Okay. That's their point. There is logic there. I just think if it's going to be a spectacle gimmick match, pay the people appropriately for the danger they're going to. That has to pay, you know?
Yeah, but.
Yeah, and it seems like this new as fine as the match was, right? What it is more to build with whatever New Day's feuding with Big E is, rather than the feud that is actually going on in the ring.
No, I feel like the Big E thing is kind of it's done. Like they can't really feud him anymore because what can he do? So it's like
they can't do anything with him, right? As in, you wouldn't want him to take a bump or anything on his neck or anything like that. So.
Because I think when they lose it, Big E be a part of that. He'll have some involvement in them losing it. Because I think they'll have a lengthy kind of title reign, and then they'll build up a tag team to beat them, and then. Well,
it's whatever the antics that New Day are going to do now that they're tag team champions. That's what is going to be it's all the character work and stuff that they need.
It's gonna be the catalyst to them.
The obnoxiousness and they're gonna build you to hate them. That's what it is.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Even though people like me and you, we won't hate them. We'll be just thinking, these guys are hilarious.
Yeah, because I enjoyed.
We are beyond kayfabe, right?
Yeah, I enjoy their work. I their heel work. When it was heels for the first time, it was hilarious, and now they're a bit more vicious. Probably be even better. So we'll see. But it's good.
All
match.
right.
Thumbs.
Yeah. On to the next match. Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Yeah. Now, how did you think this match was going to go?
I knew Jay was gonna win.
Yeah. We knew that.
We knew that. Spoiler. But yeah, we knew that Jay was gonna win. But I was telling a friend this earlier. I feel like I like Jade, right? Yeah, she's good and everything. She's still a bit green, whatever. Hence name Jade, whatever. But I really feel like Naomi carried this match. Like,
okay.
She was the 90% of this match, and Jade was the 10%, right?
Yeah. Well, look, Jade did the stuff that Jade could do.
Yeah. She looked like her gear and everything was amazing, right? It was awesome, yeah. But like, yeah, Naomi literally. I was quite glad as well. Naomi got a lot of offense in this match, right?
Yeah.
Which was good, and I liked how commentary was saying like, yeah, she's a veteran and all this stuff, and like. She'd been underlooked, which is quite true in my opinion. She had been underlooked for quite some time. And then there was like the TNA run that sort of like, you know what? She's actually good. We should have done something with her those whole 10 years we had her or whatever. All right?
Yeah.
And I, like, half through the match, I was like, no, we should win. I mean, like, it's like...
Well, yeah, as we know, like, but you know what? They proved us wrong with the Jey Uso Gunther match. So they could be like sneak win from Naomi.
Yeah.
However, yeah. I thought Jade was gonna come in here, just blast her, Goldberg, destroy her. Like,
that's what I thought.
Know, not like a super quick squash, but not. This went on twice the amount of time that I thought it was actually gonna go on for.
Yeah. And I was quite happy about that because I thought you was like, oh, she's gonna come in, pump kick, jaded, that's it, or maybe too jaded.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, oh, Naomi, man, she's.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? For a I don't want to say vicious build or vicious feud or whatever, right? But someone nearly broke your back, Bane style, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Jade looked like when she fell on the car. That's how Batman broke his back when Bane, like after Bane broke his back in the Batcave, picked him up and decided to go on top of the skyscraper and throw Batman down.
Yeah.
That's what it
looked like. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where he's like, oh no, we're gonna resolve it in the ring.
Yeah.
At a pay-per-view. In a normal match.
Yeah, you're saying that. It should have been a bit like at least a gimmicky kind of match, right?
Yeah.
Like a window screen match. You got to put your opponent for a window screen. Like it should be something like that, right? Would have been
like a backstage brawl at least.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Ambulance match even.
Yeah, but
if it was an ambulance match, then I could see Naomi winning somehow.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Jade's not pinfall, but
yeah.
No, there was some good spots here where Naomi, I think the first time she tried to dive off the second rope.
Yeah.
On Jade, and Jade just caught her in the suplex position, held her up, and gave her a jackhammer. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was dope.
And then I thought that was going to be the pin. I thought Jade's new finisher, like a secondary finisher, jackhammer.
There was another bit when Naomi went to do. She went to do like. I feel like a wheelbarrow. On the top rope, and then Jay kind of caught her and went to lift her, and then Naomi reversed it into a bulldog. That was pretty dope.
Yeah. I thought she was going to do a top rope Jaded.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and then she reversed it into the bulldog. That's dope. That's awesome.
I was like, okay. And then they did a second spot as well again, where where Naomi tried to do something off the second rope again. Yeah, Jade caught her in and gave her the SOS.
Yeah.
The overhead. What's it called? What was the actual name for it? Overhead slap.
Wait.
Anyways. Just kind of threw her over, and I was like, okay. Yeah.
And then there was the bit where
the X Factor onto the floor.
Yeah, that was dope. I like that. I really like that. I was like, oh man. Yeah, that's what I was like. You should win.
Okay, not to knock the match, because look, for it was fine for what it was.
Yeah,
right?
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were saying you don't it was a carry job and a half is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Someone did the majority of the work, right?
Yeah.
And someone else just stood there.
Not stood there, but they
with ring presence, yeah?
They participated. Like
okay.
Like again, I'm not knocking Jade at all.
Yeah. I don't think Jade did as little as you said.
No.
But then again, Jade has not been known to do a lot. So.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Oh no, she does her parts, right?
Yeah, she does her part,
but it's more the opponent doing most of the work.
Yeah, it's not like who was it was Shawn Michaels used to wrestle someone, and basically the one where they said like Shawn Michaels basically wrestled a broom.
Oh no, he was he was on comic like when Sid came out. So he wrestled Sid a couple of times, and when Sid came out for a title defense, so Shawn Michaels on commentary saying, "Oh yes, there he is, WWE's most expensive piece of luggage." Like, carry on, you know?
Yeah, it
like,
was.
Oh,
I wouldn't say it was that bad. Like I'm not gonna say it was that bad, but like, but again, Jade hasn't been wrestling for that long, so it's not like
I don't. Okay, so I will say this, right? I didn't think that she like the way it was put together was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly like, oh, okay, Naomi's just doing everything for Jade. Jade is doing her parts of the stuff and you wouldn't really, if you weren't analyzing it in such a manner, you'd be thinking, oh, you know, it's a 50-50 back and forth.
Yeah.
However, then if it was half the time, then Jade would have done probably most of the work for.
Yeah, just bump around.
Oh, you're saying, just so we're not knocking Jade Cargill, is she getting better?
Yeah, she's getting better. She's getting better. Do you
think though she should have been having 9-minute matches right now?
Not at this moment, no.
4-minute matches, but not squashes.
Yeah, 4-minute matches, but not squashes. But again,
she should be on. She should be on WWE Speed.
Yeah, she should be. She'll be like forever champion there.
Yeah.
But like,
obviously, either Speed's on canon or you have to be at a certain level to be on Speed. And when I say that, it's like one of their lower tier shows, and Jade Cargill probably will not be on it. However, it would be good for her to do them, I think, because then she could have the squash matches. And at the same time, like the main title, when you have a title match, I think it's 5 minutes or something like that. Yeah. So you can build.
Yeah.
And she's been known for just destroying people, anyways. So, you know.
Yeah. Like.
Well, though I do think they're getting her on track to have longer matches. Though I don't think I will. I'd be surprised if I see a Jade Cargill match that goes over 15 minutes.
Yeah, unless it's a tag team match. Yeah. I don't.
A singles match. Unless she had that match with Bianca Belair, where I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah. You still think that match is going to come in at SummerSlam?
Oh, I have theories, but we'll get into that later on. We'll get.
You can when you say you mean after night 2 when Bianca match happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got theories
fair.
to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, overall,
but yes, this match was kind of what it needed to be, except that I would say it could have been a little bit shorter.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit shorter. Yeah, and I just hope, like, you know. Actually, my theory has something to do with Naomi as well, so no, I'm not going to say anymore. Yeah, I'm not going to say anymore.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. We'll have to remember this for tomorrow.
Yeah, for tomorrow. Yeah, we will. Okay. Hopefully.
All right. US title match: LA Knight versus Jacob, the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu.
Yep.
LA Knight is the US champ, and I was like, okay, well, there's only one reason LA Knight won the title back off Shinsuke, that he lost to the title before.
Yeah, for reasons.
This is the definition of a transitional reign.
Yeah, his first reign was like a proper reign, and his second reign was kind of like, like you said, transitional. So,
Okay. Even though at that point you might as well just have not had Shinsuke win it, just had the LA Knight have a continuous long reign.
Yeah, would make more sense. Yeah. But this match, I really enjoyed it. Really?
Yeah. It wasn't where I was going in there, like I made it sound like, oh yeah, I knew. I was thinking 100% was suspecting Jacob Fatu was winning it.
This is one of the matches where I literally was like, I don't know who's gonna win, because either one leads to more stories. So I was like, okay, yeah.
And not only that, it's like LA Knight only won it not too long ago.
Yeah.
So would he lose it? But then again, this is wrestling. Yeah. These things happen, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then, but they are pushing Jacob Fatu. He's been bringing Braun Strowman like for a good couple of times. Yeah. So, yeah. And like you say, there's directions to go with Iron Man.
Yeah. And which should lead to like another match later on, which will define the winner. Yeah. But yeah, man, this match was really good. The one thing that I was confused by is not even the match; it's the start of the match. It was
okay.
LA Knight coming out in a car, which he wasn't even driving.
Yep.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Hey, he's got a chauffeur, so
Yeah,
know.
but like, if he was driving it, because like, was it WrestleMania 23 when John Cena was driving that Mustang around the empty arena, which wouldn't make no sense because whatever, and then it like the car crashed through the window, it stops, and then they obviously switched drivers, right?
Yeah.
Why couldn't it do something like that?
Yep. And then someone else came out with a car later on, but then
but that one
because
makes
it was
more
a limo,
sense.
Yeah.
But besides that,
I thought you were going to see the spot where Jacob Fatu did a moonsault and LA ran over and gave him the BFT.
That was awesome.
But if you were looking at it without the commentary telling you what was going on, it looked like he ran into a spot to get moonsaulted on his back.
Yeah. Well, it took me a second. Like, oh no, I see what he did there, because I didn't even clock what the commentary said. It's like, oh, I see what he did there. And then when they show it from a different angle, it looks better. In the replay, because how they kind of showed it, like you said, like he ran into it and then kind of fell on. Yeah. And then when you see it from the other angle, you actually see him like grab the face and then bang. Like, oh, that's pretty well timed.
But this match like was, I don't want to say necessarily built around Jacob Fatu, but it was to make Jacob Fatu look. It wasn't to make him look strong, right? He got to do all his stuff that highlights his abilities.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean like how many moonsaults did he do here?
3, because did the first one, but LA Knight kicked out of. Then the last 2 to.
Oh no, but then you got to count the one that didn't connect, and
Yeah.
And then he missed another one as well. I don't know. Maybe he did up to 5 moonsaults here.
No, he did one. He did a swanton. I think he did a swanton.
Oh yes, he did that. Yes, he did.
Yeah. But it's real good. Like both men looked really good in this match. Yeah. Like it could have been a squash, and then like what you do with LA Knight later. But like, they sold him like he did put up a valiant effort, but then he's battle. Wait, he put up a valiant effort, but he soul go on. That's a reference to Soul Calibur. But he did pretty good. I like LA Knight.
Yeah.
I
this was like where they have the heel that doesn't need to cheat to win.
Yeah.
Which is good because it was like, oh, you know, you put Jacob Fatu over.
Yeah.
But LA Knight also is like he's in the match as well. It's like he's trying to win. He's not like some of the people that do lose the match and they're like, whatever, man.
Yeah, like
when they pass the not necessarily pass the torch, but you get some wrestlers who know they're going to lose, and they're like, I'm not even bothered my turn to look good either. Like
a certain WrestleMania 32. And that man, one of those men is now AEW champion. But you could tell he just didn't care that way. But like some matches like that. But LA Knight, literally, like you're saying, I thought he could win, and it would make sense.
Yeah. I don't think he would have got a.
It wouldn't have been a clean win.
Yeah. It would have been like Jacob Fatu would have kicked out the finisher to make him look strong, and then later on there's some roll up pin.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and he get the opportunist, not opportunist win, but like I just about survived victory. Yeah. And then that would have led to like a street fight or something. But yeah, man. It was I know a lot of people kind of knock Alien Knight, saying like he's just a gimmick, but I think he's pretty good in the ring.
Some people call him the White Rock, and I'm like, but he's not really. It's not. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
There's similarities, but they're not the same.
There's similarities, like character-wise, but like, and people are gonna give me flack for this. Like, he does at least like 15 more moves than The Rock does in The Rock's heyday. You know what I mean? So you can't really compare him and The Rock, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Because even when Rock was Rocky Maivia, who was doing more moves, when he became Rocky, decided, nah, moves, who needs these things?
Yeah, and like I think character like that wouldn't work nowadays. But but no, and the end. So like he hit him with a couple of hip attacks, right?
Yeah.
And then he did the two moonsaults.
Yeah.
Like his moonsault was awesome. But I thought he did it in one corner. I thought he was gonna run to the other corner and do it from there. But then I looked, it was like he's too far. So it wouldn't make no sense. Yeah.
Unless of course, like when RVD does the frog splash and he jumps really fast to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he did do the other corner and he did that high arcing length for like 3/4 of the ring. moonsault, you'd be like, oh boy,
yeah,
that's a finish, man.
But then I feel like a Brock Lesnar situation might happen.
He wouldn't make it across.
Yeah, and land on his neck or whatever. So like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then that was a good finish. And then one random bit, I was like, this is confusing me. So I get it, but they should have made more of an effort about this. So he wins, right?
Yeah.
And then Haku's just outside the ring. I think gives him the belt, and then he goes like, "Thank you," and that's it. I thought, why don't you bring Haku into the ring?
Yeah.
Like,
help up or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was like, this is kind of confusing. But all right, sure, all right.
Yeah. Okay. Next match: El Grande Americano.
Yep.
Versus Rey Fenix, who would have been Rey Mysterio, but somehow he got himself injured.
Yeah, so he got King Phoenix rather than King Mysterio.
Yep. And I think this would have made more sense for Rey to lose, anyways.
Yeah.
Rey did lose, but not that Rey.
Yeah. The other Rey.
No, so what going in? I wasn't trying to predict who was going to win here.
Yeah.
But it was just like, if you're going to do the El Grande Americano gimmick, then he kind of needs to get the win.
Yeah. And
I don't think this is the greatest showcase for all the abilities that Rey Fenix can do. But then again, he was a stand-in.
Yeah, literally last minute sort of thing. Yeah, because I thought it was it was intentional, but it wasn't. Because I watched the SmackDown before. I'm like, oh no, he did legit hurt himself. Because like, there's a 6-man tag on that before. And Ray's in it for a bit, and then he disappears. I was like, oh, yep, it's not like.
This is as well when they WWE said they bought out AAA, and then El Valquino was in El Grande Americano, aka Chad Gable, but not because he isn't, right?
He isn't,
because Michael Cole kept on trying to expose him.
Yeah, a lot of people have that tattoo.
He got kicked in the head by El Valquino.
Yeah.
And then he rolled in the ring, and then who was the heel commentator saying they should have been disqualification? No, the bell hasn't rung yet, so the match hasn't started.
Yeah, Wade. Yeah. So I was like,
but so he decides right later on in the match. I know this is a more sports entertainment match, right? So I'm not going to be too harsh to criticize it because I enjoyed it for what it was, right?
Yeah.
But he has a metal plate that he slips inside the eye hole of his mask to push up his head to do stuff,
Yeah.
Going for a headbutt or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Ray Phoenix flips onto the outside. No, to the ring apron. Runs across the top rope to then kick the guy in the head, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, and then he sells his ankle, Ray Phoenix. And it made sense, right?
It made sense, yeah.
And then El Grande Americano decides to do the ankle lock on the leg that didn't kick him. And I was like, wait, hold on a second.
See, I didn't even notice that, but I guess it's sort of force of habit because when you do the ankle, it's that same leg you always do, isn't it?
Exactly. So I wasn't like anything that was like it didn't make sense to me only because Ray Phoenix was grabbing one leg, and then they did like some sort of a little sequence, and then El Grande Americano went to grab the leg that wasn't being sold, and I was like, huh? But anyways, because I thought that was going to be the finish. Like you injured him on it. He injured himself against the metal plate that you've put in your mask.
Yeah.
Then he puts you in an ankle lock. You tap out because your ankle's injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
But logically speaking, if you put a metal plate against your face and I kicked you in the face,
it's gonna hurt me as well.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was like, you know what, wrestling logic. Like it's the whole like D'Lo still body plate thing. Like that would hurt him as well. But I'm not gonna.
Well, with the chest protector, I would say maybe you have some padding on the inside that doesn't hurt you. But we will also say Batman's mask, right? So when you're punching that cowl, okay,
exactly.
Will hit him against the face, but.
But and then he did that weird, like inverted 450.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
That was dope. I was like, wait, what the?
I didn't expect that.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And even through a commentary, like, wait, what did he do? Wait, how many?
How many rotations did he?
Well, that was.
And then you finished him with the
because Phoenix goes to do something off the top rope, and then Gable headbutt. Well, sorry, no. El Grande Americano headbutts him.
Exactly.
Yep, I know it's Grande. They're two different people. You can tell by the voice. But anyway. We'll talk about it in a minute as well. Yeah, he headbutts him, and then so he goes down, and then he jumps on. He climbs the top rope, does a diving headbutt, and gets the the Trace victory. Yeah. The promo package before is hilarious.
Yes. I didn't mention that, but I was going to mention that if you weren't going to mention it as well. I was going to say when they build it like the luchadors of how the mask is all sacred and stuff like that, and then the luchadors throughout the history and all that stuff.
Oh.
It makes it look like they're talking about Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
They use clips. And then you go, the greatest luchador of them all.
Yeah.
El Grande Americano.
And then when he's talking as well, it's like so badly dubbed. You're like, this is
Yeah.
I love that so much. Oh.
But, I did like this match for what it was. It's a sports entertainment match. And I'm like, I'm here to watch sports entertainment. So fair.
Yeah, and good for like Chad Gable getting a single match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So,
and living the gimmick.
Yeah. And Phoenix, and it's good. Phoenix has been like in WWE for like more than a month.
Yeah.
And you got a main event.
But you got to do something, right?
Yeah.
Like Penta's around the next day, so hey.
Yeah. Because I thought,
what do you think?
I kind of forgot Penta's in the Continental match. Don't know how I forgot that because I've been following that.
Did you watch the Bron Breakker?
The Breaker maps. Yeah. The Breaker maps.
All right, we'll get to that tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, I thought they put Penta. I thought they were gonna put Penta in because I was thinking, what other luchadors or like Mexican wrestlers they have that are viable at this moment?
Yeah.
And then I thought
Dragon Lee.
And then for a minute, I thought, maybe they'll. Then I thought it might be Andrade. Then I thought, maybe they put in El Vikingo. But I was like,
well, they did have the picture of Andrade as well in the thing as well.
Yeah.
The promo package.
Yeah. When he was.
To be fair, he wasn't wearing a mask, so it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have made sense.
No, it's got to be a masked wrestler, isn't it? So I was like, okay, that makes kind of sense. Yeah. But yeah, man, I enjoyed it. It was a good, well-needed sports entertainment match on a wrestling card. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say they pantomimed it, but they boo, yay, because the heel going there to get the boos deliberately and all that stuff. So that's what you're there. That's what you're there for, and that's what you need sometimes.
Yeah. And then recommend. The next match. Yeah, the next match, which okay. So I have to say I wasn't particularly interested in. Okay, so it's Tiffany Stratton versus the champion versus Charlotte Flair, and I was not particularly interested in this match going into it, right? Yeah. But then all the stuff that happened towards the build of it, where it's like, are they still in kayfabe, or have they just decided to go business for themselves, or however they're going to do, right? Yeah. And then you're like, are they going to stiff each other? Are they going to potato each other? Is this match going to get a bit wild? Yeah.
Are they going to play by the rules in reality, right, of the match?
Yeah.
Or is this match going to get really, really sloppy because they're just going to actually throw bombs at each other because they just that level of I don't want to say the dislike, right? Mm-hmm. So whether you want to say what they did promo wise or shooting or whatever, was good or not, I think it actually helped.
It did.
In the sense of how's this match going to go?
Yeah.
How cooperative is it going to be?
I always knew it would be because I don't think they're that unprofessional enough to do it.
I don't know. Some people have had matches where it turns into fights and then they have to try and get back on track. When I say fights, I mean like they have a scrap in there and you're thinking, huh? Yeah,
because that happened once.
Some people have outright scraps, but some people have a scrap and then they just re-coordinate and somehow get back on track.
Yeah, because I remember two that come to my head was the Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah, that was a minor.
That brought it back on track, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then when Charlotte and Nia Jax had it, when they started slapping the crap at each other, then they started going back to wrestling.
Yeah, that was one that was a bit more.
That was funny.
But yeah, I have to say, I did actually. Okay, so we were saying about entrances before, and Tiffany Stratton had her
Barbie sponsored.
Yeah.
Because
exactly. And then you had the two. So you had the two videos of Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
One in her Tiffany Stratton NXT Daddy's Girl gimmick playing tennis sort of thing on the side. Yeah. And then one where she's in a dress like she is at Barbie.
Yeah.
What was funny was they had white behind them, whereas when she was in the box in the middle. it had a different color lighting. I was like,
yeah, like you should have done the
made it
same.
all the same.
Yeah, would have made more sense. But,
and then they were like, which one is the real Tiffany? I was like, you can tell which one is.
Yeah,
come on.
One looks like she's actually moving.
Yeah.
Like realistically, the other is doing action and repeats, So who could it be? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Charlotte came out in her limo that was being driven by a chauffeur, which made sense.
Yeah.
Not like the LA Knight one you were saying, where it's like, so he doesn't drive his own car, but all right.
But all right. But her coming out to that makes sense with a chauffeur because the queen.
Yeah. I actually surprisingly look. This match I enjoyed. I have to say I liked it. Yeah, and it didn't turn out to be like a schmoz like I thought it was going to be. They actually did do some stuff, but some stuff wasn't smooth, but it worked in the context of the match.
Yeah. I was about to say that. It was like sloppy, but beneficial.
Yeah. It was like the way it was coming across was like, we don't like each other, kayfabe characters.
Yeah.
But it leaks into reality where we actually don't like each other in real life. Then our coordination gets a bit off.
Yeah. But then
and then it makes it look like it's we're actually struggling to get stuff done, which is what you would do in an actual match.
Yeah. Which because if it was like too like polished, perfect, like
I don't think that would have worked for the way that they built the feud.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Luckily, the inadvertent stuff actually helped, I think.
Yeah. Even though I kind of think a lot of that shoot stuff was, I think, kind of manufactured at this point. But anyway, like
and I wouldn't be surprised, by the way. You wouldn't be surprised because they needed some intrigue for the match. They needed something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be like, well, this probably went and go in the opening match instead.
Yeah.
And nothing to it.
Yeah, because like if it went the normal like sort of like storyline route, like I pick you, Tiffany, because you're young and you're kind of like me when I was young, and I don't want that. And then it'd be like, okay, well, it's kind of boring. So like they kind of, even I don't agree with like some, like I agree with what they did, but then a lot of the stuff like outside people did, like fans and stuff, like attacking Charlotte about her personal life and stuff. I think that's a bit, you should leave that alone.
There's look, I accept if you attack someone in character.
Character
stuff they do,
yeah.
And the thing is, as well, I think it's a hard line to ride in the sense of not as fans, right? I'm saying it as a wrestler, because if you're either in character or you're not, right?
Yeah.
So on your social media, which way do you flow?
Yeah.
And then I don't want to say fans react accordingly, but then it's just like, if you're always out of character, then fans will then mostly react to you out of character and stuff like that as well. So it'll be more friendly, you'd think, right? But some people just kind of they take shots, and you're like, really?
Yeah, like because I saw a lot of things like
I mean, people... it's people that as fans on social media or whatever, right?
Yeah,
you know the entertainer, but you don't know the
actual person.
However, you could gauge enough sometimes, like JBL, that you think the actual person is a dickhead.
But I personally don't think he's a dickhead, because like there's some things I know about him. But like, it's like when I saw people like saying she's the reason why they got, like, her and Andrade got the stuff like that. I'm like,
that's not. Yeah, I'd say, how do you know?
Yeah, it's like,
unless they're of course going to say, well, she's the problem because she's the one that got divorced 3 times.
Yeah, but
first of all, you don't know if she was the one that divorced him or he divorced her.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You don't know.
And you don't know the issues that led to her previous divorces.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Exactly. So it's like you can't really just, and it's like.
By the way, I read that one of them was a domestic abuse issue that she had. So I don't know, like she was the victim. So of course you're gonna like
divorce someone.
That's not her fault.
No. Yeah. And I saw like some weird take, someone saying like, "Oh, maybe she deserved." Like, bro, no, no. But back to the match.
No. Wait. Just as you were saying that as well. There was one that one of Mia Yim's old boyfriends. Was being a bit I want to say rough. Right? But they because they would be both wrestlers, and she was saying, oh, sometimes he put me in a sleeper hold or whatever and just lock it in. And then under the guise of, we were tussling as wrestlers. And it's like, nah, when people are taking the mick. It's like but then you're trying to manipulations as well. It's like, wow, that's
psychopathic tendencies.
Yeah.
Well,
Victim blaming that.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, back to the not to go back. Go from dark topic back to the match. This match was I really enjoyed this match. I've watched it twice.
Yeah. When they started the match, I thought they were just going to be when they put it the way they put it together at the beginning. It's like they're wary of each other.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to do something that then the other person just drops them on their head or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it makes sense how they're putting the first part of it together.
Yeah. And then it's finished all out.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I really I hold Charlotte up really high when it comes to it because like she's super good and like she sells really well and Tiffy for someone who's only like on the main roster like in wrestling for like 5 years at this point. Yeah, she held up. Yeah.
Tiffy's very athletic.
Yeah.
Which helps with a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I will say, what was that? There was a sequence.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is one thing when you're watching it, and another thing when you're doing it, of course, right? But there was a sequence where Charlotte was on the ropes, and Tiffany was meant to do some sort of running clothesline. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
I think she ran towards Charlotte.
Yeah.
And Charlotte. So you don't know it's on the first time, right? Like she took the hit the first time, right?
Yeah.
And then there was a little pause, and then Tiffany ran back to ropes to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And Charlotte was moved out of the way and then gave Tiffany the big boot, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is something I guess with more experience you would work out as you do because you don't want to repeat the same spot twice.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
So if Tiffany hit her accidentally when she wasn't meant to, because I want to say Charlotte didn't move out the way in time, right?
Yeah.
Then she looks at the crowd, fires up, does it again, right?
Yeah.
Then that way it's like, okay, you know.
Yeah, the first one didn't do what I wanted to do. Something. Yeah.
I do my Dragon Ball Z power up. More damage in the second one, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, other than that, I was like, oh yeah, that was a minor thing in that case, yeah. The other bit was where Charlotte was trying to do what Charlotte did do, Stephanie Baker's signature move.
And then she's like taunting the crowd.
Yeah. It was funny because I want to say the crowd was booing, yaying. Yeah. The Charlotte and Tiffany, yeah.
Yeah.
But I hear Charlotte accepted it. Charlotte's like, "You'll boo me. I'll be the person you boo. I'll do that."
And I think that's when Charlotte's at her best as well. When she does stuff like that, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna lean right into this and like work the crowd. It was because one bit, you know, when she brings Tiffany to the ring post and she starts repping her leg. Someone in the crowd says something, and she shouts back at him something like, "Oh, okay." Charlotte,
but then I would get it. I would like stuff like that. She does. I accept that, because that's heel. Even though she's coming that when she came back and won the Royal Rumble, I think she expected to be a face, but
yeah, I don't think they told her what she's meant to be. So she's like, okay, I guess I'm a face because I'm coming back from injury.
yeah. But then now I'm a heel because I crossed the line with my verbiage.
Yeah, even though she's better as a heel.
So, just a slight tangent, and then we'll get back to the match. Did you watch Stand and Deliver?
Yes, I did.
All of it, or just because I only watched the women's match. Actually, no, I did see enough of it. I saw the women's ladder match, which I thought was an enjoyable spot fest.
Yeah,
and I hope those women didn't injure themselves and stuff like that. But I also watched the women's NXT World Title match.
Yeah, I watched that.
And Stephanie Becker tried to do the
head
smack. What do they call it? The Devil's Kiss.
That's a good name for it.
I think that's what they called it because Alex Shelley called it Total Nonstop Alex, right?
Yeah.
But he also called it the Skull something else, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what are they going to call this move? But they could just literally call it the Skull Backer.
Yeah.
Get very close to what it is.
Yeah.
But I think they were like, no, maybe not. And we'll just go to, I think they called it the Devil's Kiss or something like that. But she tried to do on each of the women. Every time she got interrupted.
Yeah.
And the crowd booed it.
Yeah.
And then when she finally got it, they
popped loud.
They cheered it. And then they cheered Booker T as well afterwards. Yeah. I was like, well done.
So I was like, that's how you build to a spot. Like, you put it off until the end, and then boom. And then she hits on everyone. Like, yay. Yeah.
Yeah. So when Charlotte did this, do you think that the people would be like, okay, there's gonna be like a Stephanie Vecchio?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty sure like 90. Well, I'm not saying 90. Like 75% of the fans in there have no idea what NXT is.
Okay. All right. You're probably not wrong either.
Yeah. Because that's one of my gripes I'll say later on about this WrestleMania. But yeah. What was I say? But yeah, when she did that, I was like, haha, look what she did. But I remember she used to do it before anyway, before Steffi. Yeah, so.
I don't think she's done it in a long time, but then again, with the big knee brace that she's wearing, you probably don't want to smack it into the ground like that.
Yeah, plus she hasn't been
and I'm not knock on her, she does it safer than Stephanie does it. Because their head is higher.
Yeah.
The way that they shoot it when Stephanie Vecchio does it, you don't see where their head is.
Yeah.
Like tucked beneath between the knees.
Yeah.
You don't know how low down the head is, but Charlotte made sure that Tiffany's head wasn't hitting the ground. Not that to expose her or anything.
But
it just was not as close as the camera angles.
Yeah.
Probably if she had her hair over it in the front, you wouldn't
even notice. Yeah.
There was also when Tiffany started taking advantage. Like I think she threw Charlotte to the ropes, and then she did a horrible looking chop block. And when I say a horrible looking chop block, it wasn't bad like an execution. Yeah. It's just Charlotte's knee kind of bent to the side.
Yeah.
And I was like, oof.
And especially with her, like, oh, that doesn't look good with her.
Yeah. And that's when I was like, oh, actually, you know what? Well, I'll get a little bit behind Charlotte for if that was actually legit, But it seemed like she was fine through it. I mean, she's selling her knee, but it wasn't like it actually was a proper injury or anything like that.
No.
That was where she put the figure 4 on Tiffany.
Yeah.
And then Tiffany's like, people booed it, of course, but then Tiffany started punching the knee brace, Charlotte's knee brace, and people were cheering. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then Charlotte tried...
then Tiffany, instead of grabbing her, clutching her... So when you cross on the figure 4, right?
Yeah.
It's the leg that has the shin across the knee.
Yeah.
That's the one in pain.
Yeah.
Right? Not the one that's bent at an angle. Even though some people sell it, right? And Tiffany decided to grab the one that was bent.
Yeah.
Not the one that you would have had the pressure on. I'm like, okay.
Right, okay. Rookie mistake, I guess.
No, it's not her fault because other people do it as well. But you'd be like, huh?
Yeah, like that's what I was like, oh, that's a bit different.
I want to say it was an experience. No. It just like Shawn Michaels sold the wrong leg as well at one point, like in the figure 4. So not just her.
No.
I think it might be one of those things where if you're a crowd member watching it, and you didn't know, and you haven't, as kids, we put each other in the figure 4, so we do know, right?
Yeah.
But they probably just think the one that's bent at the angle is the one that's
that's the one that's getting the pressure applied to it.
Yeah. Which which isn't the case. But then when you do know, you're like, wait, that's the wrong leg.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay. There was one thing as well about this spot as well where I thought, okay, this manufactured, like just before they start booing. You see Charlotte, Tiffany does something, and then you see Charlotte trying to slap her, and I was like, oh, they're trying to manufacture make it look like it's a shoot. But I was like, oh, okay, I get it. All right, sure.
Unless you think they're going to stand up and start doing just like the back and forth slapping.
Yeah.
Not the forearms, because that's what some people do, right?
Yeah.
No, we're just going to go slap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah.
That's when you would have thought they'd break down into like if they were trying to make the match look like it was breaking down, that's the point where you do it.
Yeah.
And then you have it go back, like they grab their hair, they roll over, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then they get back on track. Like all of a sudden, reality broke, right?
Yeah. We've got
like when Gogeta and Brody are fighting, they break into actual reality.
What in the multiverse are you doing? Yeah. And then there was another spot where I haven't seen Charlotte do his move. I was like, that's pretty cool. She gave her like a set-up powerbomb. Like, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Like, oh, good on Charlotte.
And then I think Tiffany came back with a sort of a sky high, but not really.
Yeah, like a sky high spine buster sort of thing. Yeah.
And then there was the where they just Charlotte's trying to go for the moonsaults, and Tiffany's like, no, just keep on grabbing her, which is like a leg all the time. I was like, okay.
But I kind of thought like maybe that's not in Charlotte's. It's like a tease, but I don't think because of like the knee stuff, will she do moonsaults anymore?
Well, I think usually she does like on the outside, when she's doing it from the inside to the outside, she's got enough rotation to land back on her feet and not take it on her knees.
Yeah.
So yeah. And there was where she did the top rope natural selection.
Yeah, I actually like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
because it looked so like rough. I was like, oh, that's really good. And I think that might be when like Tiffany might scratch her head or something because she had like a bit of like a wart, like a lump.
Yeah, yeah. And there was also where she looked like she had blood on her teeth as well.
She chipped the tooth.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but she was saying, I think later on there was like there was no blood involved. Some of her lipstick or went into like across her teeth, which made it look like she lost a tooth because wiped over. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, when she was looking all beat up like that, right? Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it just adds more to the match.
It does. Like, oh, this is. I think that's probably why I really enjoy this match. Like, it.
Right. It was a quote unquote fight.
Yeah. And even the finish with like when she hit the rolling death row driver, then the PME, sorry.
Yeah.
Which I like her move, so it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
I have to say as well, the first time she did it, and Charlotte, this is after Charlotte's knees have been worked on.
Yeah.
And then she decides to lift up her knees to block the previous moonsault. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. But like, I kind of, because of like, I knew that was coming because of how she performed the rotation. Because rather than being like sort of like an arch, she kind of tucked in so to brace for like hitting the. Like, oh, okay, yeah. I was like, oh, gymnastics teaching comes in handy there. Yeah. But then the second, the last one, I like that. But then I thought maybe she's gonna hit 2, but no, she just hit the 1.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? It's Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she did like. But then again, it'd be like the Jacob.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, right? I realized now, like, and it'd just be a copy, wouldn't it? Yeah. You can't have literally the same finish, and you can't do like a weird TNA thing where they had like the similar finishes in one pay-per-view. So yeah,
maybe sense. Maybe she should have moved one match to the other night, so you don't exactly get the same finishes doing the same. Anyways. But yeah. I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, man.
And I thought going into it, it was going to be a different type of match than it was.
Yeah, same. I thought it was going to be a proper shoot, but no.
Yeah. Or like not necessarily much coordination going on, so they'd have to go more basic moves, which don't rely on a person, or the opponent being 100% with you if they're not going to.
Yeah, actually, I feel like this was the best outcome because I thought either it would be this or be like super like polished rehearsal, like, oh, this is I
like the I know they did deliberately try to make it slightly sloppy, but I did like that it was.
Yeah. Which I kind of think they did on purpose. Yeah.
Oh, you think? Okay, not to say, right? But you think because it's easier to be slick than not, right?
Yeah.
But to try and not to be like to coordinate your thing to be not perfect or not even like smooth looking, it's harder than just making it smooth looking.
Yeah.
So the level of ability you must have.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. It's I think I don't know. I feel like this whole like
you know when it's when you got good actors.
Yeah.
When they got it like you got actors that need to pretend to be bad actors.
Yeah.
So but then you have to have a really high level of skill to do that. You think I don't. Oh, okay.
I feel like between that's not a slight thing. I think between the both of them, I think they could do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's gonna sound really weird. If this was Becky and Charlotte, I don't think they could.
Yeah.
Because I think their egos there are too much.
It's probably as well that Tiffany has less years behind her.
Yeah.
That partially maybe some of it is just inexperience.
Yeah.
And partially some of it is like, okay, well we're gonna have to we'll make it look this way, and she actually is executing it the way that it's meant to be uncooperative.
Because I feel like because that experience thing between the two of them, Tiffany's could be not led, but like, okay, we can do this because I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like Becky's up her own arse or anything, but I mean, it's sort of like. I mean, you got two people who are like really, really good at something.
Yeah.
And they will clash on things, right? Rather than like, okay, let me take lead.
Yeah. It would more be like, if you do it a certain way, right, and both people are really good, then one of them might think something's gone wrong and they try to bring it back on track.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're being led, and they try to make it look a particular way, you'll follow that other person because, not to say you don't know any better, but you'd be like, I haven't had the experience to know what to do.
Yeah,
try correct.
Yeah, that's why I feel like this would work with people with this like two different experience levels, rather than like two big people then like end up going in for themselves, and you know, ugh. But yeah, no.
Yeah. All right.
Really love this match.
Yeah, surprisingly, I will say actually probably the second best match on the card, right?
Yeah.
And to be an argument for being the best one, actually.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
So main event match is Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman.
Yep.
Yeah. So what did you think of this match?
This match, right?
Yeah.
I might even go as far as to say this. It might have been better than last year's night one main event.
Okay.
Yeah, because this was actually...
Because that's the level of how much you hate The Rock.
No, not that. No, like, this... okay. Last year's match had 3 highly competent wrestlers and The Rock, right?
Hey, The Rock is competent.
Is he?
Well, back in the day, right?
Back in the day, that was like the heyday of 2003, right?
No. I would say last year's WrestleMania was more of a. You didn't need to you could have got away in that tag match not doing much, as in you could non-wrestling ability stuff, that's what that was about.
Yeah, last year was like a spectacle, right? It wasn't like a match, right? And like this one, you had Seth Rollins, who's like possibly one of the best wrestlers in the world. CM Punk, who used to be self-proclaimed best in the world, which I still think he's really good.
Yeah.
And you got Roman Reigns, who's like the GOAT.
Right. Yeah.
And like this was a match mix of like wrestling and storytelling. That's why I think it's like a perfect like main event for like a big show.
Yeah.
And like, especially like you literally like didn't know who was gonna win, what was gonna happen, which made it even like better in my opinion.
Yeah. Like any one of these guys winning would have made sense.
Yeah,
because then all they need is to be able to just gloat over the other two. So
yeah.
What's something that didn't quite 100% make sense, but we'll get that to the end. In my own head, I get a headcanon fix for it.
Yeah,
but. I enjoyed this match. There was times when people kick out finishers, and you're like, okay,
yeah, fighting spirit, man. That's
right?
It. Like WrestleMania,
it's WrestleMania, fine. Yeah, there was a bit where Seth Rollins is like all the time. He's like, yeah, Roman, let's go get him. Let's go get CM Punk.
End this guy.
And Roman's like, nah, you betrayed. I'd still bitter from the betrayal. From like 10 years
ago.
Allow that.
I can't never trust you. Like, you have a point. Like. Everyone's reason in this match made sense. Yeah. Like, everyone's like Roman having these trust issues. Seth not liking CM Punk because CM Punk crapped all over WWE. CM Punk being the old man.
Having these issues with own selfishness, ego, and pride.
Yeah. Like, CM Punk being the old man thinking that can he still hang the young guys? You know what I mean? Like, everyone has sort of like... their thing and reasons for not to like each other. You know what I mean? So I like that. It was very good. No one felt like everyone had like equal percentage. Like no one felt like this person doesn't need to be here.
There was a bit as well on the outside where CM Punk's Seth Rollins they put him down, and Seth Rollins. Well, I say they put him. Seth Rollins put him down. And he goes to Roman. We'll powerbomb him. We'll powerbomb on the tables like the old days. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked how Roman was sitting there like conflicted. Like, should I do this or should I not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that sort of. I'm like, oh, okay.
And then he goes, like he's going to do it. Yeah. And Seth Rollins like, yes, and he picks him up to do it, and then he gets punched in the face, and then Roman's like, oh, I'll powerbomb him. I'll put myself on this table, and then I pick Seth Rollins up and powerbomb him. That's what you get.
I love that. I was like, this is amazing. Like,
and was that before or after? I don't know. There was a point. I think was it a stomp or something like that? I'm not sure. Yeah, but Seth Rollins like taunting Roman, going, yeah, that's why I left you. That's why Mox left you. That's why you're
yeah.
Like, oh, they mentioned Mox, but I know it probably wasn't meant to be. I don't know how necessarily it's going to be picked up by the cameras and the mics.
You know what's funny,
right? Casual fans would be like, Who's Mox?
But you know what's funny, right? Like, because I was watching it with subtitles. I don't know why I have the subtitles on, right?
Yeah.
And then it said, "This is why I left you." Then it didn't. Cause it said like it's like a couple seconds delay. So he said it, and it come up saying, "This is why I left you." And then when he said Mox, it didn't come up saying anything. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So if he said, "This is why Dean left you," at least that would have made more sense to the people that were just watching WWE.
Yeah. So I was like,
So then it would have made no sense because he's not Dean Ambrose anymore. He's Mox.
But you know what's funny about that, right? Because he's mentioned Mox before,
Yeah,
and he called him Mox.
well.
Yeah. So I'm guessing they're like,
and then he actually didn't even call him Moxley. He just called him Mox.
Mox. Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
That's for the smart fans.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was pretty cool. Like, there's lots of cool spots.
Yeah.
CM Punk
And then there was,
didn't hurt himself.
Sorry, go on.
I was saying like CM Punk didn't get injured, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. The finishing sequence scene, Paul Heyman, because he come out and he's like, with as CM Punk's manager, because the build was like, when's he going to come out with what's the favor and the favor, and yeah, CM Punk wanted Paul Heyman to come out with him instead of coming out with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, to throw Roman off.
So
yeah.
Then when Paul Heyman went to get it, so when it's Roman Reigns and CM Punk are both in the ring on the floor.
Yeah.
And then Paul Heyman went to get a chair. He's like, okay, where are you going to slide it to?
Yeah. And Punk's like,
like,
to me. And Roman's like, just looking at him like, you don't know. You don't do this. You know who you got to give the chair to. Yeah. And then so like Heyman milks it for a bit. It's like, who do I do it to? And he slides it to Punk. And Punk's like, yay, my friend.
Yep.
And it's like, you made me cheat, Tribal Chief. What did you do? He's my best friend. Do what to do. So then he slides in the ring. Punk gets a chair and he's about to hit Roman because Roman's like starting to get up or upset because he's been betrayed again. And then he punches. He gives Punk the low blow, like real deep, like rah. And
like so deep that Paul Heyman himself kind of
it goes.
There was a lunge. He fell off his knees. He was like, "What? Where was it?" You know, we do the sliding Shoryuken across the ground.
And then Roman's like, "Yes," it's not sliding. Like, "Yay!" He goes, "You're my tribal chief. I'll never betray you. I love you, my tribal chief." And then like Roman's like, "Yeah," and starts like whacking the crap out of Punk with a chair.
Yeah.
And then Seth's starting to get up on the other side of the ring, using the ropes to get up. And Roman seems like, I can finally get this guy back for what he did to me 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
he's like, yes, do it to him. His back's towards you. You can do it now. You can do it here.
See, this is what I got. Like, I actually legit like, oh, because like how it's portrayed, like, so Roman's standing there, and like Roman, like Heyman's like to the side of him. He's like, yeah, do it. And he's kind of like slightly kind of shifts behind Roman as Roman's going to wind up the chair. And then he goes right under and low blow and like gets a whole like reach in there.
Yeah.
Like proper like forearm. Not even forearm, he bicepped him up, right? And then and then just Roman's face is like, oh, you betrayed me.
Yeah. And then Seth Rollins, like, so then Paul Heyman picks up the chair and Seth Rollins still got towards him. And he just holds out his hand.
And just hands
and Paul Heyman gives it to him. I'm like, all right, okay.
I was like, that's a cool.
This is the way we're going. All right, okay.
And then he just whacks the crap out of Roman with the chair, gives him a stomp.
Yeah.
And he gets the 1, 2, 3. And he's like, I told you, Paul. I told you. And they're walking out. And he takes a chair. Which I thought like, it's symbolism again, because that chair means a lot more than just a chair. It's the knife that you put in the back, you know?
Yeah.
Twice. I'm like, this is
symbolism.
Yeah.
But there was also a sequence where you're saying about Paul as well, where in reference to Money in the Bank ages ago, where Roman Reigns went to do a spear and he got caught into a pedigree. They also repeat that here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay.
Like, a little bit this time. Yeah.
It was all, it did.
Yeah.
But look, I don't say it was a wild brawl because it wasn't a brawl that much, but it was definitely something. You know, it was like They weren't like exactly going to their. Oh, actually, no, they did brawl, and they weren't relying too much on the stuff that you normally have in a wild brawl.
Yeah, because only
They kept it in the ring as in a decent quite a lot as well.
Yeah, because I only did like one spot really in the crowd where it was Punk and Rollins, and then Rollins hit with the chair with the trash can, and he said he kind of went round one side and back through the other, and that's when Roman came. Oh yeah, that's also a spot where they're fighting near the crowd. And Roman actually jumped over the barricade and like hit them people in the crowd.
Yeah. Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Like, that's amazing, man. That's dope. Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I was my piece of logic here is like, okay, so at any point in the match, someone else could have won.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman
would have won that person.
So you had to wait all the way to the end, so you could solidify your alliance with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
But there was loads of points where you didn't interfere when he could have got a pin. But being Paul Heyman, right?
Yeah.
Being Paul Heyman. Logic is, if CM Punk wins, good for him. If Roman Reigns wins, good for him, right? And if Seth Rollins wins, well, he's already made a deal with Seth Rollins behind the scenes. Good for him as well.
Yeah. So it's like, okay.
It didn't matter. He would have lined himself with whoever at that point.
Which I thought was like how it's all done. It's quite a smart. It's like, that's okay. They've actually thought about the story. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I know. I thought about it to fix it up, right?
Yeah.
But logically speaking, if you went on Raw or SmackDown or whatever and just said that as well, I'd be like, I buy it. You know what? It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's not like in Bound for Glory when it was Sting versus Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Nash waited till almost the end of the match to hit Samoa Joe with the baseball bat. And it's like, Sting nearly got beat a good couple of times.
Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense. This one makes more sense because they kind of like you said, because of Heyman's character, their seeds planted all. So whoever wins, he kind of benefits anyway. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of a clever little thing there.
Yeah. But yes. So I would say between this match and the match before for match of the night.
Yeah.
Maybe this one only because it has more star power and it had because it was triple threat.
Yeah.
And on DQ and stuff, they could do. They had a bit more. I want to say memorable spots, the stuff they could get away with it.
You couldn't do like a normal two-person match. Yeah.
A bit more smoke and mirrors sort of stuff.
Yes. More theatrics. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, what would you say the third match of the night would be?
Third match of the night. Maybe. Let me just quickly look.
Maybe Jey Uso winning?
Yeah, because that's like a feel-good moment.
Or between that and LA Knight.
Between that and LA Knight, because
so the dark horse would be El Grande Americano, Ray Phoenix.
That's I'm not gonna lie, like it's kind of obviously we've done like sort of 1 and 2, right? Everything after that, like I feel, I don't know, I can't. It's hard to put in like place.
Yeah, because I want to say that they kind of on a similar level to a certain degrees. There's nothing super stand out, but just I guess it also depends on what kind of your taste in matches.
Yeah, because like I enjoyed all of them. It's not like you had like some like years you're like, oh no, that match shouldn't blah blah. Like I legit enjoyed all of these, so I can't. It's like hard to kind of put in.
I think as well the layout of the card is actually pretty fine.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's nothing that I thought was other than if you're going to put the main event. If you're going to put the world title match not in the main event, it's either semi-main or opener. And then the rest of it kind of still works out.
Makes sense. Yeah, so very enjoyable night.
Do you find it strange that they had both Royal Rumble winners on what?
It's kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah, you think about it, it's kind of weird. But I guess
because usually it's one on the other and then the other.
Yeah, like one's on one night, one's on the other night. Yeah. Was it? Because last year.
But then I guess the awkward thing is if you're putting, say, Jey Uso winning and he's on this card.
Yeah.
The other match is a triple. Like the other women's match is a triple threat match. You want to have a triple threat match when you have in the semi-main when you have a triple threat match in the main. So I guess they had to go the way they did. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Bailey. Because last year Bailey was on night 1, right? And Cody was on night 2.
Yeah.
Correct, isn't it?
Yeah, but Cody was on both nights, really. But
really, because he's Cody, he needs both nights. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're overall saying that this was very solid, or
very solid,
very solid with 2 standouts. Yep.
Yeah, very solid 2 standouts. Like this,
Yeah, okay.
I rarely rewatch like events, right, and actually pay attention. And like, I feel like I would actually rewatch the WrestleMania. This night, I actually would rewatch it because I really enjoyed it.
So it was about 4 hours long, but did it feel like 4 hours to you?
No, because it got to like 4 in the morning. I was like, oh, it's 4 in the morning already. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you stayed up to watch it, right?
Yeah,
I didn't. I was like, nah. What time did it start? 12.
Yeah, it started at 12. Yeah, but then I was watching like the
kickoff.
Kickoff before that. Yeah, which is
wow, that's another
2 hours, I think. Yeah, 2 hours. Bloody hell, yeah, it was 2 hours.
Oh jeez.
But I think I was like,
Standard Deliver was before that.
No, luckily Standard Deliver was like during the day, so I was like, okay, that's fine. I think that was on like 4, so it was alright. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But
no, 6. It started at 6.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
But the way they put this together makes you more hyped for night 2 as well. As in, know, the build and everything. Like if they put this together this way, night 2 should also
be good.
Reflect the same quality. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we also forgot to mention, just quick mention. Yeah, they showed the Hall of Fame bit as well. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. And they put matches in the Hall of Fame now as well.
Yeah.
With Stone Cold and Brett.
You know what's funny about that, right? Which makes no sense, right? So leading up to this WrestleMania, they did like the 50 best WrestleMania matches, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you would think, right, that this match, as they put, it's the first match introduced into the Hall of Fame, right, would be number 1, right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So from what I'm gathering, the way that they're saying it is the 50 greatest matches of WrestleMania. However, this is not actually a ranking. It's a countdown, but not a ranking.
Oh, is it? I thought it was like a ranking.
Yeah. That's what. Logically speaking, if you go to number 1, that's what people would think as you would, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's slightly wormy to say, well, actually, it isn't the thing that we make it out to be.
Yeah.
It's like randomly, you remember the Cadbury's cream eggs?
Yeah.
So, they had the size. It was one size, and then it was a smaller size.
Yeah.
But Cadbury's Cream Eggs Corporation, Cadbury's trying to gaslight everybody. He goes, no. They put ads. No, they haven't gotten smaller. You've gotten bigger. All right, there's logic to that. Okay.
Yeah, there's logic to that.
Except that some people have had the old Cadbury's Cream Eggs, and they're like, nah, it's this size.
It's this size.
And now this size.
Yeah.
So you just lied to all of us.
You're gaslighting us. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What a bunch of a-holes. Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense more now. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So it's like maybe they already had the thing to put out because they'd put one day day after another and everything to the countdown, and then they're like, well, I mean,
let's swerve everyone. Look, it might be like
I mean, we implied it.
Yeah, but
you assumed it.
Yeah, we didn't say. I mean, like,
yeah.
We didn't say this was an order. Like, this is.
Yeah. In fact, it's on you for thinking that way. You are the problem.
You know what? It's true. Like you said, it's actually truth. Like they never actually said. Like we all just kind of assumed that this was a ranking. They just put like 50 matches together. Like, okay, these are ones that people have liked. Yeah.
I have to say that is some corporate backtracking right there.
Big time.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying, looking forward to night 2. You're going to stay up to watch that as well?
Yep. I want to stay up to watch that. Yeah, I know.
I don't know if I'm gonna. I'll just wake up in the morning and watch it.
No, the thing, it's because it's a habit to me now. I've done it for the last 15 years. Or no, more than that. So it's like, just stick with it. I used to take off days of work to actually stay up and watch it. But luckily, it's Easter weekend, so I don't need to.
Yeah. But even then, I'm not gonna mess up my sleep schedule for it.
Way asleep, say that.
All right. That'll sign us off for this episode because we'll be back tomorrow for the next episode.
Yes, and then I'll say my theory about Bianca and actually I'll say it then because by the time
just put a note or something so you remember to bring it up. Unless because these are back-to-back episodes, what's gonna happen is if you forget, then people are like, "What's he just left us? He just left us in the lurch."
I'll quickly just do it quickly now. So my
okay.
This is my thing, right? This is what I think is gonna happen. So Bianca, right? In match, the triple threat match. So Bianca's is about to win or something like that, right? And Naomi comes out to help Bianca, right? But then Jade comes out to stop Naomi helping Bianca. And then in that little like tussle, she accidentally hits Bianca, which leads Bianca to losing. And then this is when Bianca's like, you know what, F this, and then goes heel and then joins Naomi.
Yeah, you know what's funny as well? I didn't get the reaction Bianca's been getting. The heel boo's reaction, like, no, she's been wrong.
Yeah, that's
just because you people like Rhea Ripley. Yeah?
And when you
but
think
if it happened to you, if someone took your contract and signed their name for it, you wouldn't stand for it. So
and like Rhea Ripley is the bad guy in this whole thing. Like she's been like a selfish brat, but she's.
All she has to do is like literally. I want my I lost the title. I want my rematch.
Yeah.
Bam. Yeah. And just insert herself into the match.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to do it.
Yep. But
they just want it convoluted. But whatever. Yeah. And the other thing is, do you watch like Bianca's TikToks?
No.
About the situation?
No.
So she does a TikTok narration. So they do the clips. I have to send it to you at some point if I can find them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you might just go to Bianca Belair's thing, which TikTok, Instagram, you can find it, right?
Yeah.
Or TikTok. I'm not sure which one it is. But yeah, she just narrates the situations. Like it's a 1 minute long, like over the week, couple of weeks,
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just narrating to her followers the situation.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, you know what? Why is she getting booed?
You're in the right here. I don't understand what is.
But as just before this, you were saying, because we were saying, in case you forgot, I don't know if you ever listened to commentary or the audio commentary for Scorpion King.
Yeah, no, I haven't. No. But,
all right, so Rock's about to say something towards the end of it or something. Then he gets a call from his mum.
Yeah.
Right, and then he answers the call while he's on the audio commentary, right?
Yeah.
And then the thing that he was talking about, he never gets back to after he's hung up. He is like, oh yeah, I'll see you later. And then he starts on something else. And I'm like, what were you talking?
Wait, what?
What's the thing? You finished the story. Come on.
You had me here.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Anyways. So yeah, all of that. Yeah. So yeah, pretty good event. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good event. Yep. I enjoyed it.
Overall, and if you just what if you crunch for time, just watch the last two matches. And that's
and then come back to it at some point. Yeah.
Okay, and then that's us covering WrestleMania Night 1.
WrestleMania 41 Night 1.
Yeah, exactly.
WrestleMania Saturday in whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, but not really.
So yeah, thank you for listening. We'll be back, obviously, for night 2.
Yeah.
Of WrestleMania
Very
soon, literally. Yeah. And all the usual stuff. Don't forget to give us a review. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Bill, find up there if you're watching this on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you're listening to Audio Realm, our social media handles can be found in the description bit on whatever podcast app you're using. And yes, thank you. I have been the man who buys fancy cars but doesn't drive them, Carl Charles. I wish.
Yeah. And I am the lady who's basically having a mirror match against a younger version of myself, but not CY Chung.
Yep. And thank you for taking a trip with us around Multiverse. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.